Welcome back to Politics Nation, live from Los Angeles with a story that changed this city and this country. 4 Los Angeles police officers were caught on camera brutally beating motorist Rodney King following what started out as a routine traffic stop. King was reportedly hit more than 50 times with a baton and kicked 6 times by the officers. He suffered permanent injuries, including kidney damage. He says his right cheek is still numb, and to this day he still gets headaches. The video sparked national outrage and calls for justice from all corners of the globe. And on April 29, 1992, the world was shocked again when the 4 police officers who beat King were found not guilty on numerous charges, including excessive force.
The jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant not guilty of the crime.
Within hours of the verdict, Los Angeles was on fire. The riots would become the worst in U.S. history.
What's a fire here is a Track auto supply store and a thrifty drugstore. 2 businesses, lots of jobs, just going up in flames.
I'm probably going to lose this store to fire. We hire about 350 employees.
People looted everything from drugstores to supermarkets to donut shops to video arcades.
At least 53 people died and billions lost. Scores of businesses were looted and burned to the ground. One chilling incident viewers saw: tow truck driver Reginald Denny pulled from his rig and nearly beaten to death on live TV. At the height of the violence, though, Rodney King himself made an urgent, emotional appeal to the city.
I just want to say, you know, can we all get along? Can we get along? Can we stop making it horrible for the older people and the kids?
Joining me now, Rodney King, his book, The Riot Within, My Journey from Rebellion to Redemption, is in bookstores this week. Thank you for your time tonight, Rodney.
Oh, yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, it's been 20 years, and you have, from day one, said you did not want to see any violence. You only wanted justice. And 20 years later, the country has grown, has changed, yet we still have a lot of challenges. In your book, The Riot Within, that people can get now at bookstores, you said, I don't want to be remembered as the person who started the riots. I'd like to be remembered for the person who threw water on the whole thing, part of the solution. You know, I want to be remembered as the person who tried to keep peace in this country, that I did my part. What do you mean by that, Rodney?
You know, I would prefer to be remembered as a person who was part of this resolution. You know, not a part of the problem, because you know, we got a younger generation that's that's growing every year. You know, there's a new adult people coming into this country and kids being born in this country, and we have to leave a legacy for them, something for them to, so it'll be easier for them to deal with problems, issues that come up, you know, just like civil rights leader and, you know, white, black, colors, you name it, people that has made a movement towards peace and nonviolence all the way up to this point. You know, it's important that we keep that going, and I tend to do my part.
Now, you have written this book, and you've talked about your journey and what you've gone through, and you've emphasized that it was never about black and white to you. It was right and wrong. In fact, it was a white who videotaped the beating of you, and had that white not videotaped that and put it out, most of America and many of us may never have known you were telling the truth that night, because you were, in fact, arrested and charged by those police until that video came out.
Yeah, and that's correct. It was a hurting, lonely feeling, you know, to think that no one cared and I wouldn't be able to tell anyone. And, you know, I can just imagine how many people are dead and locked up in jail involved in, you know, the same type of situation, you know, no one believes them. And it's a horrible feeling It's a horrible feeling, you know, to be at home in your own country and have to feel like that.
Now, I'm in Los Angeles at a night where community leaders are doing a series of days of saying we've got to grow, we've got to make sure, yes, we still have challenges, but we cannot resolve them with violence, because with all that violence, it really didn't make matters better. In many ways, it burned down the communities of the people that were outraged. And we must really try to build rather than burn and change the things that are wrong in society, not succumb and act in a way that you've said is wrong. One of the things that we faced with the Trayvon Martin case, his family, his parents are here tonight, who have all called for peace no matter what the outcome of their case, and they're trying to encourage young people with conflict resolution. When you did my radio show with me yesterday, the day before yesterday, you said to me you knew the pain. You heard the 911 tape with Mr. Trayvon Martin, Mr. Zimmerman, and you really stunned me when you said you knew that cry, and you would hope that that cry is something that America understands in terms of victims and in terms of trying to make the system better. Explain what you meant.
You know, I heard that same scream that Trayvon Martin screamed on that videotape. It's all too familiar. I can remember 20 years ago, I was screaming from the top of my lungs because I was that close, inches from death. And so I know that scary, empty, lonely feeling when that baby boy was screaming like that. And I'm pretty sure that anyone that has been to war, the Vietnam vets, you know, they know that scream and that feeling just before you're about to die also. Some of the ones that have went through tragedy and got so close to death but made it back. It's a cry for help. It's a cry just before you're about to die.
What would you say to young people that are outraged about cases today, whether it's Trayvon, whether it's other cases around the country, and they are involved, they are getting active, they may have not even been born when your case happened? What counsel can you give them as we say?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, but I can't hear anything right now, but I'm going to take it from there.
Let me say it again. What would you say to young people around the country today that are getting active? You are talking to a new generation as we tell them to let's build and change the laws and change society and not just burn and be violent. What would you say as one of the most famous victims in America?
Let's go about it differently. It's a lot of people that's still walking, that's alive, that was coming up during the early civil rights movement and went through that type of violence, and they saw how communications and to be able to get to know a person again after the violence, it's real difficult for you know, to be loved and for people to respect you. And so what I would say is just be patient. The justice system works. It's a slow process, but it did work in my case, and I finally received justice. And another thing is that, you know, now it's new modern days. You know, we can get more, you know, by coming together and figuring out how to go about these issues rather than burning up our own cities, or rather than looking at different races like, you know, we holding a grudge and we don't even know why we're holding that grudge. You know, a lot of work has went in over the years, you know, and you yourself, Reverend, know that it's been a long road to get to this point in life, you know, as a human being, you know,
sure.
And it's no need of thinking that violence is going to get us anywhere, because we should be more civilized than that and come together and make things happen and be patient with the justice system. I'm not saying that because I received my justice. I'm saying that because I've experienced it. And when I went through what I went through, I was so lonely. I just thought time was moving so slow for me to receive my justice. And I finally got it, you know, and was embraced by the world. And especially here in the United States, I was embraced. And it was a wonderful feeling, you know. And I was saying to myself, I wish I had been... you know, I wish I could see things like I see them now, you know. And
well, so you've written them down so everybody could see them. The author of the book, The Riot Within, Rodney King. Thank you for joining me tonight, Rodney.
Thanks for having me.
Still ahead, While the new president was celebrating his inauguration, Republicans were literally plotting his defeat. We go inside the secret plan hatched on day one.